アートパフィンのネストトーク。このポッドキャストはアート公募に実際に採択されたアーティストや公募の主催者を招き、双方の視点から公募を深掘りするポッドキャストです。今回はオランダ南部の町ズンデルトにあるヴィンセント・ヴァン・ゴッホハウスのレジデンスプログラムヴァン・ゴッホエアをご紹介します。キュレーターのエヴァさんとダイレクターのロンさんにプログラムの様子やどんなアーティストが参加しているのか、また日本とのつながりについてもお話を伺いました。Before we dive into the residency program, could you introduce yourselves briefly?
Okay, I'm Eva Gele. I'm curator of the artist in residence of Van Gogh AiR. I've been working here since the beginning. We have a museum on the birth ground of Van Gogh, where he was born and lived 16 years. And since over, I think, almost 15 years now, we run this residency program. And in the museum, we do exhibitions based on themes of Vincent's work or artists inspired by his work.
I'm Van Derven. I'm the director of the Van Gogh House and also, together with Eva, curator of the residency program. And we organize here exhibitions. We have a basic exhibition about Van Gogh's heritage, but also modern artists inspired by Van Gogh. And for that purpose, we have a residency program with two guest studios, one very nearby in the Sexton's house, one in the landscape, an old Flemish barn, a bit like this, but then a lot bigger. And we used that residency also to make exhibitions here and also in other places.
Could you also describe the purpose of this program in a bit more detail?
Yeah, Van Gogh was born here and he spent a really big part of his life in Zundert. And he has good memories of it. And he walked a lot and he had a good time with his brothers and sisters. And the original birdhouse is not there anymore, but the spirit is still here. So what we want to do is show that Van Gogh is still alive in some kind of way. His inspiration and his practice is still living through other people, you can say.
Yeah, I think that Van Gogh, of course, is an historical figure. He's from the 19th century, but in a certain way, he's still modern. He still appeals to people, and we use our residency program to connect him to the generation of today and the younger people and new generations. So I think that's a good way to keep the heritage of Van Gogh relevant for.
Yeah, and of course, because he wrote so many letters, we know a lot about him and what his feelings were and what his life was like when he was younger. And it's good to carry that out and to let artists connect with the background and the area.
So, what makes this Van Gogh House area unique compared to other places?
Yeah, I think because it's this person that is known so well by so many people, you really can dive into it and connect to him. And it's a place where he grew up. I mean, you always have memories about your childhood times. Van Gogh had good memories, and I think that's something that you can explore when you're here.
I think it's about the origin. He died when he was 37, and he lived here until his 17, so almost half of his life. He lived here, and he was influenced as a person, and also already as an inspiration for the artist he became by his surroundings. And it's because we are now so much further, and the area, the village has changed a lot. But we notice that especially artists, they own a kind of sensitivity to really actually feel the essence of Van Gogh here, and they can look and add something new just by concentrating and and looking at this place. So it brings us a lot of new things, not only about art, but also about Van Gogh, I think, and his relevance.
So do you have like specific artist you are looking for this program? And qualities or some theme or?
Yeah, we have artists from all ages and all disciplines are welcome. Only, for example, we don't have a kiln, so people, the sculptures or the ceramists, they cannot bake their work. But we like it if an application surprises us. And a lot of people know Van Gogh, of course, almost everybody, I would say. And he has such a broad scheme of themes where you can work around. But sometimes you read something and you say, oh, well, we hadn't thought of that ourselves, for example. One time, an artist came here and he wanted to work with an organ from the church and do something with the sound of Van Gogh's time. Another one, she came here and she wanted to invite other artists to work together with them for several periods, just a bit like the feeling that Van Gogh had when he moved to the south of France and he started the Yellow House there. So, I cannot say this type of artist is what we are looking for. It's just, you have the feeling that it can be a good match in a variety of.
Yes.
Okay.
We like to, we like artists that react on the place and on the spirit of Van Gogh. And especially, we don't invite artists who like to copy Van Gogh. So we look for the artists and young talents, but also well-known artists who bring something new in an artistic way to Van Gogh's heritage. So that's of course, this interaction is very special. So that differs from what an artist does at their own studio. So they come to this place and really connect to the place. So I think we believe that the residency is a very good way to connect with people and with cultures.
So what kind of reactions do you see from the artists while they're here? How do they develop their art practice during their stay?
It's a good question and also hard to prove in some way maybe, but the artists who come here, we always say that they become part of the Van Gogh House family or something. We follow them, we see what they're doing, and because we keep track of them a little bit, with some more than others, of course. But you see that the period they have here, that sometimes really gives a change in their career, in their artistic career. And that can be in a visual way or more like an emotional way, that they connect on a different level with their work, or that they there was to give an example, there was an artist who only painted a special type of flower, and we have an atelier that's built half in the ground, and when he started to paint here, he also started to paint the roots of the flowers. So there was like a visual thing that came into his paintings, and he's still working with the roots and also with Van Gogh as a theme in his work. So he was last year in our show about the sunflowers of Van Gogh, because he's so much inspired by this iconic artist before him. And of course, sunflowers are well known, but there are also different paintings or things he writes that can resonate in a person, and that they take that along for the rest of their lives. And because you have 1 month here in the village residency or 2 months in the other residency, then there's really time to read and connect and work and make long days or reflect on your work. So it's, in that way, I would say that a residency is always, can be a changing point. And for us, people come here, they really want to come and see and feel Van Gogh and his life and his work, and that will work in the rest of their career for some.
Yeah, we notice in our connection with the artists that they really enjoy their stay here, and most of them, they don't want to go away again, so that's a very good sign. Also, especially what Eva also mentions is that we sense that their residency means a lot to them, and you can of course see that also that they keep on developing further. It's not only this 1 or 2 month residency, but it's also the preparation and afterwards that we stay connected, and that means it's for us, but also for the artists, very valuable.
On our way to the museum, I was thinking like, wow, this is where Van Gogh used to walk. And I got really excited. So I can imagine that for artists coming from abroad, it must feel like a really special experience too.
Yeah.
I think also for some people, it's really like sort of a pilgrimage coming here, because they are already read so much and know so much about him. And then when they come here and they say, okay, this is where I grew up.
Yeah.
And that's only one place. He lived on many places, and but what Ron just said, here he lived so long, and this is the place where he was born. So I think that's always a special connection. And the church where his father preached is right next to the residency, and the grave of the stillborn brother is there. So you can really, it's hard not to feel something if you walk around. Yeah.
You can really delve into the atmosphere, and the artists, of course, they don't stay all the time in their studio, because they go along, they bike, and they walk through the nature and fields and connect with people. But that's the exciting thing of the program.
So once artists arrive, what does their daily life look like? What do they experience during their stay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the differs from person to person. It depends also on the kind of how they're working. Some people, they first need to buy materials, because now we have an artist from Japan. He couldn't bring all his stuff, so he had to order the canvases and buy the paints. And he really got the wish to see some of the wood prints. So we took him to the archive in the Van Gogh museums, and where he could see the Japanese prints from Van Gogh's collection, and those years he's reworking in his own way. And maybe you'll see it later, but that's a really nice way to work. Some need to first get to explore the field and get inspired by the surroundings, finding materials sometimes, or making her own pigments, or meeting people. We have photographers, sometimes they need models and they want to connect to the persons, and then the getting to know is part of the their daily life when they are here. Also maybe depending on the season, even, because the winter maybe will make you more turn inwards, and the summer will invite you to go walk and bike and see and meet. It's really different. But because we are a small organization, we have 2 part-time jobs. It's not the kind of residency where you are taken every day by the hand to be shown around. You also have to be initiative, and you have to find your own way as well. Of course, we help wherever we need and wherever we can, but we are not there 24/7 to talk or whatever.
Besides us, we also have a lot of volunteers, about 100 volunteers, who also connect with the artists. And we also invite them to events, for instance, the openings we have here for the Kiefer show in Amsterdam. And we also sometimes invite them just to have lunch or dinner with us, and also the other way around. The Japanese artist working now invites us to have he's making his traditional food here, so we love to taste that too. So yeah, it's just connecting to each other and through that, and it works very well. And we noticed that from the reactions of the artists that it's that they're happy being here.
Do the artists also get a chance to engage with the local community?
I would say everybody's welcome, but there is Zundert is a typical village with, and not everybody grew up knowing art or seeing art as something which can enrich you or something. So luckily, some artists have the capability to attract people and to just start talking. And for example, there's this big flower parade in summer, and a lot of people in the village are occupied with that. That's the thing everybody in Zundert really likes. And then they go to the tents to talk to people and meet them there, and that's also a good way to connect and to invite other people. Sometimes they go in the street and ask, okay, tonight I'm going to take photos of people eating. If you want to leave your curtains open, then I can take a picture. And then they have this like potato eaters kind of portraits, but then from modern days. And that's also, people are curious, and then they come to see the show afterwards. And then you have new people coming that have never been here before. So still, the museum is now for 18 years in Zundert, and still not everybody from the town visited. So that's a challenge, and still working on it.
There's still a minority of the people here who are really interested in art, even in Vincent van Gogh. That's strange, because it's his birthplace. But sometimes when artists really connect in doing things, like for instance, portraying people or asking them to cooperate in something, then this connection comes. And then they also come to visit the presentations they have at the end.
And as you mentioned earlier, artists can access the museum's archives and collections, right?
Yeah. For our museum, for sure. And in the Van Gogh Museum, that's in Amsterdam, we have good connections with them, and you can always ask for archive visits and ask for things you want to see there in the study room.
Yeah. So that's we help artists if they say we want to do this or that. We just look what we can do. So with the Van Gogh Museum, this artist wanted to see those Japanese wood prints of Van Gogh in the storage there, and we arranged that to visit them. Yeah.
And for them, it was also nice because the Japanese artists could also tell some things, and this means
he could read what was on it. The Japanese signs, they couldn't. They could read them.
Yeah, but also in the image, he says, "Okay, we depict water like that." So I thought it looked like it was blurred out, but he said, "No, this is water." So there was those tiny things. It's just helping to see things in a different way, and that's great.
He's now working on this inspiration. For instance, the plum tree from Hiroshige. He's now working on it. You can see it later.
And other thing, maybe it's nice to mention, we are part of Van Gogh Europe. That's an organization in which Van Gogh heritage locations, but also museums with a lot of Van Goghs in their collection, like the Krullenmullen Museum and of course Van Gogh Museum and the Boijmans van Beuningen. They are related in this program, and every year they meet one time online and one time in real life, and they honor one of the Van Gogh locations. And because of the network and the meetings, we have also good connections. So in London with the Van Gogh house, and there was an artist couple in our residency, and they had a project about Vincent's time in the hospital in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. And then we sent an email and put them in contact with them, and then they did also residency there. So in that way, we can also help people to find their way in Van Gogh's footsteps. And also Auvers-sur-Oise, you have the place where Van Gogh painted his last painting. You have a few years ago during COVID, they found a place where he painted the tree roots. Now, around that, we also did, a program because of the people we met during the program and had really good times with them. And you get a connection because of the love for Van Gogh. And then you can also help artists to visit them and make new works and get inspired. And we also had an exhibition about that. And there was, I think, 4 different artists who took part in that one. So
When I saw the support and benefit you offer to the artists, I felt it was incredibly generous. Like you give an artist fee, publish their work, and even add it to your collection. That's not something you will see everywhere.
Yeah. I think the artist fee is something nowadays is also, which is from we call it the fair practice code, that also artists have to earn a living. So that's why in the Netherlands we give the artists a fee. Yeah. And in return, they donate works to our collection. They are happy with that because it's in the museum collection, and we are happy because we have a very interesting collection.
Yeah, after several times that we build up a new lot, then we make an exhibition about all the new arrivals or all the new gifts or acquisitions. Yeah.
The way you support artists reminded me of the relationship between Theo and Vincent. Theo helped Vincent so much with money, with chances to show his work. And I feel like that kind of support is really rooted in this residency.
Thank you.
Yeah, we try to be good and to do good, but also we depend on the fundings from the province and
Luckily, we have some fundings from the province, from the city of Breda, just a little bit from Zundert, so that's a small village. But additionally to what Eva says of the with Van Gogh Europe and all the exchanges, we are now also, that's for the last 2 years, looking for exchanges with Japan. And it's because Vincent also wanted to go to Japan and he was inspired by the art there. So that's another line we really looking to expand, and I believe it works well up till now.
Looking ahead, what are your future plans for the residency program?
For sure, because we notice that there is so much interest in our residency program. I would like to broaden the possibilities a little bit. One thing we do that with is that we made the garden an open air residency. It's called Open Air. That's without a place to sleep, not yet, but in the future we are planning to make a place where you can stay more like campsite-ish. But there are a lot of artists who take nature and gardening in their arts practice nowadays. So this is also like, this is really the ground where he lived and where he walked on that you can work with. So now we have an artist from Antwerp working there. And that's a really nice thing. This year we're also for the first time doing exchange with Mons. It's a town in the Borinage in Belgium where Van Gogh also was. And that's also worth an important sister location, I would say, because he had also a different time in his life, but also good to do that kind of exchanges. And when Vincent writes about his time in France, he also refers to Japan. He said, this is the closest to Japan I can get, because he couldn't get the money, I think, or it was too much of an effort to arrange it back then. But he really thought about it, and because of all the prints and the influence you see later on in his work, there was a thing that we also really wanted to explore. We got some applications from Japanese artists, but the fee is not enough to also pay for the tickets and the travel expenses. It's really a different level. So we now started to explore how we could arrange like the sustainable relations with some places in Japan with whom you can exchange. And also, yeah, maybe it's a bit early to say, but it's a dream, and some dreams come true. Is that we start our own residency in Japan, where Japanese and Dutch artists can work both together or after one another and inspire and let the cultures who've since long been in good connection can explore and inspire each other for the future times.
That will be our own little yellow house, but then based in Japan. So we're also working already on the design. But up till then, what we have already done is that we sent some artists to Villa Kamogawa in Kyoto who worked there. We are also in exchange with Do a Front in Yamaguchi. There was already one artist here, and there will be a next one, and we also sent an artist there. We have a group of 3 artists who are going to work in Rokken near Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji is very interesting. And so we are just trying to make the connection and things. And now in April, we're going to Osaka to present our story, our program on the World Expo. And we're going to make a publication which is called Duet. And the theme of the World Expo is common ground. So how's this connection? And we say it's like a duet. It's like singing together. So you're both your own people, and then and this duet gives a new connection and meaning. It's just like a relationship, but then in art and within our cultures. So we hope to visit Japan a lot more often.
Oh, please. Yeah, it's so exciting news.
今回のエピソードはここまでとなります。次回も引き続きバンゴッホハウスのお二人にレジデンスプログラムの選考基準やポートフォリオのコツ、日本人アーティストの事例や彼らが思う日本人の強みなど、より実践的な内容を深掘りしていきます。メンバー限定配信となりますので、続きが気になる方はぜひご登録ください。アートパフィンでは、リスナーの皆様からの質問を募集しています。ゲストに聞きたいことや公募に関する質問などを概要欄のリンクからお寄せください。月額650円のメンバーシップに加入すると、毎週更新される国内外公募リストや応募書類のテンプレ、公募のコツなど、メンバー限定コンテンツにアクセスできます。また、簡単なアンケートに答えていただいた方に初月無料コードをプレゼントしています。ぜひ概要欄リンクをチェックしてみてください。それではまた。